The second person I'd like to call on the stage is Victoria Gunderson. Victoria, are you here? There you are, Victoria. Victoria is from the U.S. Department of Commerce. She is an international trade specialist within USDoC. Victoria's work is primarily in the strategy development of global trade, and she has done a lot of work in demonstration programs between US and India in the area of smart grid. Victoria, welcome.
Sure, thank you. I think it's always helpful to have followed the Department of Energy, who's advancing the technology related to a particular sector. So at the forefront of where do we need to go next? What's the future? Following TDA, who's now thinking about a pilot or a feasibility study, so a pre-competitive point, and then segueing into the Department of Commerce, where you're thinking about scaling this up, deploying it, and engaging internationally to say, what are the best technologies, resources out there globally, and how do you bring those to market, deploy them at scale? And that's really where we come into play, which is twofold. One is, how do you connect efficiently and effectively foreign utilities, in this case, with companies who provide those solutions and deploy them globally, not only in the United States, but in other emerging markets and other developed countries around the world. So you can facilitate that engagement. We have a team here. Patrick spoke earlier. Dinah and Rennie, who are in the audience, who hopefully, if you don't know them, you should know them, because they're really at the forefront of connecting people in country to the 100 offices and the thousands of companies that we work with on the ground in the United States. The second is thinking strategically about, it's not just facilitating a connection, but as alluded to, it's about the policy and regulatory environment, not only on the industrial and energy side, but thinking more broadly about what's the ease of doing business? How do I actually interact? What are the big picture issues that really affect a transaction moving forward? In the context of, I think today, what's really relevant, it's the rate case. How does the utility stay solvent? How does it continue to be able to invest in projects moving forward? And then at the vendor level, how do we actually get paid so that I continue to do this work and across the country and continue to want to come back? And I think that fundamental issue is something that we probably want to tease out and discuss a little bit more. And in the smart grid space is not only pilot projects for the technology deployment or studies in that regard, but it's about thinking creatively about business models. And I think Chris touched upon this earlier, and we've heard a little bit about AMI and ESCO, which is a unique concept to me. I don't normally think about ESCO model for AMI, but how do you start to challenge and think about how you effectively change the business model so it's effective in the place so you can scale this up? And so touching on this, I think, is something we can tease out in a way that we're engaging bilaterally, but very much at the core of how do you get the steel in the ground? How do you actually deploy this at scale so that you're meeting those policy and regulatory targets going forward?